We need low-cost money for the wealth creators, which is already available in the forms of PDM, Emyoga, and UDB loans. I really want to render irrelevant these money lenders and all these people who suck our people. We shall continue putting money in PDM, in Emyoga, in UDB, so that the people want wealth creation, have soft money, money which is not very expensive. Labor, so we have electricity is going to be cheaper. Money for wealth creation will be cheaper. Labor is still not expensive. However, and those are the crucial factors when you are producing a good or a service: the cost of electricity, the cost of the money you borrow, the labor costs, the wages which are being paid, the salaries which are being paid to the workers. However, to further handle the issue of the cost of production that to render products and services competitive. Correct this in my speech. This should be uncompetitive. We must reactivate rail and water transport for cargo. This is what is missing now. Electricity is being worked on, money for borrowing, for production, not for importing. We are not giving you soft money for importing. If you want to import, you go to the money lenders. You go to these other fellows, the commercial banks. But if you are a wealth creator, we have money for you. The cost of labor is still low. But how about the cost of transport? Transport not for people who are going to nightclubs. Those can pay whatever cost they are charged. It's up to them. If you don't want to pay, you stay home. So when I say the cost of transport, I'm talking about transport of goods, cargo. That's why the railway is our next big target. Railway for the goods, and especially for the goods, even people, but mainly for cargo. We must reactivate rail and water transport for cargo. We have repaired the old meter gauge from Malaba to Kampala and also from Tororo to Gulu Pakwach. We are going to start building the SGR, the standard gauge railway from Malaba to Kampala and Kampala to Mpondwe to Kasese. Later, we are going to expand the SGR, the standard gauge railway, to Gulu Nimule. The railway will transform our capacity to create wealth. Because once the railway is fully operational, then transport of goods from here up to Mombasa will be cheaper. From here up to Dar es Salaam, from here up to South Sudan, from here up to Congo, it will be cheaper. It will also save the roads, because this crowding you see on the roads by the heavy trucks, it is because the railway is not working. When the railway starts taking off the trucks from the road, then the pipeline, because we are also making the pipeline for petroleum, Because now the road has got passengers, they're on the road. You have the cargo on the road. You have the petroleum products on the road. That's why the road is under such pressure. The railway and the pipeline for the petroleum will solve that problem. That means only passengers or light trucks will remain on the road. It will cause less pollution and consume less fuel. Because on the road you spend a lot of fuel stopping, because of the slow movement. We are moving forward on the issue of introducing electric cars and electric border borders, as you saw here. So, these are the two additional strategic interventions: the railway and the pipeline for the petroleum products. Now, the other strategic intervention we need to stabilize our economy forever is irrigation for agriculture. The minister talked a bit about it here, but we need to do more emphasis. Because you know we are lucky, we have rains, but sometimes the rains delay, or sometimes you have less rains. Then you get a crisis, lack of food. So in order to remove that occasional disturbance, we must have supplementary agriculture arrangements. Much of the time we shall have the rains, but if the rains don't come, there is standby irrigation. With this, plus what I said in the State of the Nation address and what has been said in the budget, there is nothing that will impede us. Because you remember in the State of the Nation address, I addressed the issue of regional integration, solve the issue of the market. The NRM is a mission-led organization. We don't come into politics to improve our CVs. Former this, former that, please. We are not here to improve our CVs. No, please. We started fighting from the 1960s because we had historical missions. We had aims. That's why we cannot move. We must achieve these aims, and we have achieved them, as you can see. We have achieved some of them. You heard the minister telling you that economy he was talking about, which he presented here, was all minus our petroleum, which is about to come online. When that comes online, the story of Uganda will be a totally different one. In a short while to come, our petroleum will start coming from the ground. This will enable the government to earn an extra $2 billion per year, assuming today's prices. Even if the prices remain the way they are now, when our oil starts coming out of the ground, the government, not the whole economy, the government alone, will be having an extra $2 billion per annum. This is apart from other income streams for the country. This does not include the money to private groups and so on, but to the government. This oil money will never be used for consumption. Who is in charge, we shall never use this oil money to import perfumes and whiskey and what have you. Never. It will never happen. It will only be used for infrastructure and science development. Therefore, strategic items like the railway and the irrigation will be funded by us directly. So this business of borrowing, of this and that, will stop. For the infrastructure, for the railway, the power stations, and the science infrastructure, we shall use this oil money to do that, but not to import those takatakas. No, those ones you continue the way you are doing now. People who do not bother to listen to our message keep talking of poverty, lack of jobs, etc. You had I'm very happy the minister and his staff, finance, are now finally capturing properly the message of the NRM. Because we have been having problems with them, the way they present things, the way they talk. Sustainable development, what is that? What does it mean? One time I asked, what does the sustainable pregnancy mean? That somebody is pregnant sustainably, never produces a baby. Nature provides that you have quantitative growth and qualitative change. Pregnancy, after 9 months, becomes a baby. Maybe after some time, changes in something else. That's how life is. You cannot have a static situation indefinitely. So, we are very clear that prosperity means an adult person participating in producing a good or a service and selling it. And when we say participation, he may be the owner of the product, or he may be an employee, but he will participate in producing a good or a service and selling it. And if you do that with the Chibaro, with the proper mathematics, you will get prosperity. That's what I've been telling you. And we have been telling you, and the minister has now repeated emphatically, I'm very happy with finance now. I have nothing useful to add. And he has told you that the sectors where prosperity is are 4. Commercial agriculture with the Chibaro, Chura, Aymar, Otita, with the mathematics. Commercial agriculture. Secondly, manufacturing and artisanship. Thirdly, services. And fourthly, ICT. So in those areas, that's why you will get prosperity. You should choose to go to be somewhere as a wealth creator or an employee of the wealth creator. Now, those who bother People who do not bother to listen to our messages keep talking of poverty, lack of jobs, etc. The four sectors of commercial agriculture, artisanship and manufacturing, services and ICT, if utilized in the manner recommended by the NRM ever since 1995, will create so many jobs that we will exceed the job levels of Uganda. Uganda doesn't have enough. Once we develop our full capacity, Uganda will not have enough workers. And by the way, this one happened during the time of the British, when they introduced a few activities here like coffee and cotton and sugar. That's how Africans from Rwanda, from Burundi, from South Sudan, that's how they came here. That small economy, money economy, or during the British time, created so many jobs that the internal people were not enough. That's why our brothers had to come from Rwanda, from Burundi, from South Sudan, to work here. So even now, if we all become wealth creators in the four sectors, there will be so many jobs. I've given the example of Mr. Nyakana in Fort Portal, using 1 acre to employ 15 people. And we calculated that if 7 million people did that, we would create more jobs than the whole population of Uganda now. But as of now, we already have 922,000 people employed in manufacturing. Show those factories again if you have them. Show them on the screen, the factories. Those are now. These are all new factories. In 1986, we had only 80 factories. When we went to the UMA, Uganda Manufacturers Association, we now have more than 8,000 like those. These are already employing 922,000 people and something. The whole of the public service, army, police, civil service, 480,000. So the factories are now employing 2 times the number of people working in this public service. So those are jobs, the jobs are there, but you must be qualified for them by doing the right thing. All those are jobs. New jobs, you can see all of them are brand new factories. They are not all. This is the factories now, giving us 922,000 jobs. The services, the hotels, the tourism, the transport, the banks, they are now employing 5 million people. 5 million. Look at show that factory, the one of the factory. The one which was there now. Put it back. The one which was showing, those are hotels. Go back to the one you had showed. Was a factory where workers were seated. No, there's another one which was bigger. There was a bigger one. Anyway, they are all the same. You can see how many people. Jobs are there. Look at that group now. Look at all those are young people. Jobs, just talking. They don't listen. And then they have their wonderful papers, like the wonderful, what do you call it, monitor, that monitor group. Ovyo hao, wajinga hao. They are like enemies of Africa. The other day, I saw them when they tested Karuma Power, 600 megawatts. I think there was some blackout or something. So they were celebrating in their paper monitor. Oh, you see, the network, the transmission network cannot handle the power. And I had had that opinion. It's very interesting to see how the enemies link up, enemies of Africa. So the logic of the monitor is like what I used to hear with the governments, some of the civil servants who are like on the side of monitor also. They were saying, but if we have the power station at Karuma, how shall we evacuate the power? If you can't evacuate it, have the factories near there. They can all be around Karuma, nearby, if you don't have to carry it far away. When Jinja, Owen Falls Dam, was opened by Queen Elizabeth in 1954, the electricity was only in Jinja. That's why the factory is concentrated there. The original factory. We didn't have electricity in Mbarara. We didn't have Kabari. We didn't have. But it was enough that it was in one part of Uganda, and all the factories congregated there. That's a step forward. If the electricity is there, if you can't distribute it far away, let the people use it from nearby. That's not a problem. That's a step forward. It's not something to mourn about and demonize. Now, the ones employed in services, the 5 million, 40,000 of them are employed in ICT. Then 66,000 are employed in mining and quarrying. Now, this is just endozo. Endozo is a word for when somebody gives you something to taste. In Ntungamo, at the trading center, if you found the women selling local beer, you could say, Mbaze Mundoze, give me the Jaribu first, the taste, let me taste. He tastes this one, so it's not good. But by the time he has finished 6, he's drunk, and he says, all the beer is bad. So here, what we are showing you, you show the hotels. They are started showing the hotels, the services, in the picture. All those are employed people. And here in my small speech, I also have those pictures there. I have those pictures. Therefore, I want to repeat what the minister said.